Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it happens to be where you are when you watch this. My name is Joseph Morrison, and I'm the founder and CEO of Razor Sharp Consulting, and also the founder of the Nonprofit Connections community. Our purpose in this segment today is to highlight nonprofits that are doing good and to provide exposure to their awesome work. Today we have with us Cheri Wolf and Sandy Lisonbee from The Wolf and the Bee. What a great name. Seems like you have combined your two last names, right? I guess we'll hear more about that. But that's a very creative way of coming up with a name. Their mission, by the way, is to provide resources, information, and tools for individuals and companies to help navigate and resolve workplace harassment and discrimination with a focus on corporate culture and career development. Welcome to the program. It's good to have you both here.
Thanks so much, Joseph.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about your organization, your mission, and maybe a little bit about what inspired its founding.
Sure. We're the wolfandthebee.org. I'm Cheri Wolf, and I'm from Chicago, and I'm here with my partner, Sandy Lisonbee from Salt Lake City, Utah. And in the height of the Me Too movement, I was harassed, and I was looking for information and tools, and it was really hard to find what I needed. So I reached out to my friend and my previous coworker, Sandy, and we compiled a lot of information on workplace harassment and discrimination, basically under Title VII. We talked to HR representatives, attorneys, judges, therapists, etc., just to get the information we needed. And then during COVID, we realized that 80% of women are having similar experiences with workplace harassment. This is a big problem. And there really wasn't a lot of data available for people. So we created a free user guide to help determine levels of harassment and discrimination. And we created a roadmap with what your options are for other people that are experiencing harassment and similar behavior. Those tools can be found at www.thewolfandthebee.org. That's kind of how we got started.
Okay, wonderful. Well, tell us maybe a little bit about what makes your organization different from other organizations that might be out there.
Yeah, there are a number of organizations that support victims in harassment space. A lot of times it's when the harassment has reached a critical level, it's met a threshold. So, and that's all very important, but we realized that it's really important to address the problem early, before it gets bigger. There's not a lot of tools out there to really help people know how to do that. So we've created scripts, for example, how to navigate that without incurring a greater risk to themselves or escalating it. So we really wanted to focus, and we do focus a lot of our work on really addressing problems while they are small. Additionally, there's no resources for people who are accused of harassment that have done it. There's just a narrative of claim that it's false, right? And so we know that it's really important to provide resources for both parties on how to recognize harassment and also find ways to improve behavior. We really believe in compassionate accountability, and we believe people can learn if they're given the proper instruction and tools to do that, to improve.
Okay. You might have said this, I might have missed it. How long have you been operating?
Since
2020. Yeah,
2020.
really COVID was the opportunity.
2020.
Yeah.
Okay. So during these last few years, is there a particularly impactful project that maybe you've begun to implement and had some successes or challenges around that maybe you could share with our listening audience?
Yeah. So we have the free navigating user guide that provides the roadmap of options for people. And from that data, we learned that addressing the problem before ever going to HR, it's really addressing that problem in that window where it's still a boundary cross, maybe a misunderstanding, or even it's disguised harassment, but it's those types of behaviors where we can, it's still small enough. It doesn't meet the threshold, the legal threshold of harassment, that we really wanted to start bringing attention and resources to. So this last February, we launched, it's called the BML, it's a new service where for a $25 donation, we will send an email on behalf of the person who is experiencing harassment. And it is unnamed and it doesn't specify the behavior. It's very general but direct. And we send that to the offending party. Along with that, we provide a whole workbook for the offending party to recognize the behavior, like to assess their behavior and to work to resolve the behavior. We also send resources to the sender or the victim in this case to also recognize retaliation and determine whether a problem can be resolved. We give conflict resolution skills and some communication tools because most people have to continue to work with their bully or their harasser. And so we want to provide a bridge for them to come together in a lower risk way. Because as soon as risk gets involved, like everyone goes to their corners, there's no learning and there's a problem. So we provide that and we launched that in February and it's really getting some very positive results.
Fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. I'm, with in the Facebook group and in my own business, I'm all about collaborating, right? I'm all about connecting nonprofits with one another and with other kinds of resources. Are there organizations maybe that you're looking to collaborate with, maybe even within our Facebook group or outside? And if so, what types of organizations do you typically look for when you collaborate?
Yeah, we love collaborating. We currently collaborate with Silent Sisterhood, who helps us collect data in the space. And we also are collaborating with Gretchen Carlson's group, Lift Our Voices, who is working on the civic side, changing laws around NDA and forced arbitration. But we're always looking for groups in this space, HR companies, even attorneys that are interested in working in this area, but nonprofit in particular that are working in the harassment or discrimination space. Yeah, we're very interested in partnering with those folks. Cage Bird is doing some great work out there.
Okay, wonderful. If we could just take a moment and sort of step back from your local organization and maybe have a 30,000-foot view for a second. What I'd like to ask is, as you look at the nonprofit sector as a whole, what are some of the biggest things? What are some of the biggest factors, challenges, and I like to call them opportunities that are facing the nonprofit sector today? Are you noticing any trends or anything that's affecting you that might be affecting others? Is really what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, it's funny because we come from the for-profit space, so we're really not nonprofit experts by any stretch of the imagination. So we really have struggled, especially early on, and the rules and what you can and can't do, but also like where funding comes from. It's different. So obviously we're dependent on donors and funders and grants and whatnot, but we're really looking, and I think this is a problem that all nonprofits have, whether you are large or small and just getting started, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things we have an advisor on our board, and he mentioned fiscal sponsorship. And so having a fiscal sponsor sort of run the back office and they know all the rules. And we had a difficult time finding that. We didn't even know that that existed. And they have been really critical in helping us manage just the business of a nonprofit, right? That is following and jumping through those hoops, and those are important, but we just were not as familiar. And they have also provided fundraising tools to get us grant ready and things like that. So we found that is really, especially getting started. I think there's a lot of people who want to do all of this great work, and then you're just mired in the business and you can't focus on the mission. You're focusing on filing reports and all of that stuff, right? So it's been for us really important, like a really key moment where we were able to accelerate our growth from being kind of stagnant and deer in the headlights.
Sure. Well, in your answer, you answered my next question, which was about fundraising and donor relationships.
Mm,
It sounds like you've got you've got that under control pretty much with your fiscal sponsor. That's good to see, because that's often a problem for startup nonprofits. They're not sure sort of how to handle the back end things, and they're not sure
right.
how to go about approaching fundraising and cultivating relationships and so forth. So I'm glad that you've tackled that through a fiscal sponsor. I think that was a smart move.
Yeah,
Um,
they provided a lot of support. We still have to do like the heavy work, like we have to apply for grants and have
Sure.
it on our calendar and be communicating with our donors and our grantees, you know, and even when we don't get a grant, we make sure we go in with curiosity and ask like, hey, what are you looking for the next time? And from that, we've built relationships like where we didn't get a grant, but just asking that question, like, where, you know, we have blind spots, fill us in, like, where can we improve, has helped bring people into our work, even as advisors, you know, from the grant space. So that's a really key thing for us, is just being curious and not getting down when we don't get a grant. We do get a little down, but we continue the
We all do.
relationship by asking questions. Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy to get down, but yeah, just keep plodding ahead and don't ever give up. That's what I always advise my clients. So looking ahead, what are some of your goals and aspirations for your organization, maybe for yourself? I often put it this way: what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah, right now we've been really focused on working with victims and helping them with the free user guide, but being in the nonprofit space is hard. So we really want to develop some corporate culture career development tools to go inside companies and work with them on helping them resolve it from the inside space. And as Sandy was talking about the B-mail before, with the B-mail too, if it does escalate where it does go to HR, you can come in as the problem solver. So we feel that handling it from both the victim and the corporate side will give a chance for everything to have a happy middle zone.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
corporate culture, career development, and getting into companies is what we're really looking.
Yeah, that's a good area to work on, I think, for the future.
Okay.
Is there anything special that you want others to know about your organization that maybe we haven't asked here?
I think really that we come from a compassionate accountability place. We know that things happen, mistakes happen, and just fixing them and resolving them and coming from a place of compassion and accountability is a way that problems get resolved, especially as Sandy mentioned with the B-mail. If you can resolve them earlier before they become larger problems, in that, oh my gosh, did that just happen moment, that's really kind of the best time to address things. So I would say letting people know to handle it earlier. And if the B-mail is a tool that could work for you, I really wish it was available when we were out there looking for tools. So the B-mail is available. Just want to let people know that that's a new tool and resource for people that are looking to resolve things.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you both for spending time with me today and highlighting your important work. How should people contact you if they want more information?
thewolfandthebee.org. There's signups, and through that, there's also our contact page on our About Us page and things like that. But yeah, they can sign up for newsletters, or they can opt in we have a Facebook group about navigating workplace and harassment, where people can come together and also provide support there as well. So we have that as well. So it's not as big as yours. And thank heavens, we don't want a lot of, we want this problem to go away. So
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully people will reach out to you. That's our goal. We're going to try to promote this wherever we can. And let me just say thank you all for honoring us with your viewership today. And until next time, I hope you will all stay blessed. Take care now. Bye.
Thank you.